Okay, I was planning on doing an introduction before I came in here, but there was really just way too much traffic noise out on the roads. So I'm here on the northern outskirts of Taipei, in the Beitou district, in an area called Fanzaicuo. And as far as I can see, Fanzaicuo basically means the area or the village of the barbarians or the savages, or at least the foreign people. Anyway, why are we here? Basically, I've just caught the MRT, Mass Rapid Transit System, across from where I'm staying, pretty well in the middle of the city, across to here because it's a really interesting area, at least for me, for a lot of interesting bird photography. It's essentially a sort of wetlands farming area on the edge of the Shui River. I think it probably floods pretty easily. There's certainly a lot of irrigation, a lot of flood irrigation happening here. And it looks like a lot of the sort of the stormwater system also overflows into here as well. And so I imagine during typhoon season, a lot of rain, rivers up, a lot of rain in the stormwater system, and so this area would flood. And so I think because of all of the wetlands, because of all the grains, because of all the rice here, you do get a lot of interesting bird life here. You get a lot of egrets, the great egret, intermediate egret, the little egret, herons, the grey heron. You get munias, I think the chestnut munia, but I might have that wrong. And you get also sparrows, a lot of other interesting sort of wetlands birds, and I guess the normal collection of raptors that you would expect to see with sort of that much other bird life happening around here. Yeah, so really just a really interesting area. There's a lot of car washing yards, car repair yards on the main road just behind here, behind the wetlands. In the wetlands itself, there's a wasn't expecting that. That was a magpie basically carrying nesting material into a betel nut palm right here. But I guess that's the importance of having the right settings in the camera and being ready to react at any moment. I probably didn't have the light settings right. I needed probably a lot more exposure compensation to get that. But at least I know there's now a magpie nesting in this tree right here. On the weekends, you do see a lot of birders in here, I guess, which is one of the ways I knew that I was sort of allowed to come in, and from over the years talking to different birders, I've got a sense of sort of what's allowed and what's not. This is all private land, but essentially the farmers really don't worry about people coming in. I guess they're used to birders coming in, really, as long as you stick to the paths and don't trample any of their crops. I'll just show you some of the paddy field right here. So you can actually see the ears of rice growing on the paddy field right here, and then we'll head further into the swamp.
I'm not terribly familiar with rice, but you can see the seed heads starting to emerge on the plants here, and obviously the seed-eating birds love that.
it's pretty weird to be in a city of millions of people and just really not to be able to see another human being. I'm sort of, I know there's some people over there with an allotment or a farm who are moving in. Their shanty was burnt down, they were telling me, and so they've had to move out, and they're just currently moving back in. And then I can obviously I can hear industry happening all around me. I can hear sort of traffic, but sort of standing here, I'm surrounded by paddy fields, and just sort of can't see another human being, which is pretty remarkable. This is an interesting area. It's I guess you tend to get a lot of the interesting birds happening at these sort of fringe areas. I don't think this is a crop. I can see that there's rice plants here, but it looks like these are weeds growing up, and then there's some sort of other bush growing over here, and those sort of tend to be the interesting places where you get some interesting birds. I think I've previously seen the munia here, so I'll wait here for a while and see what happens. This was a really interesting conversation with this gentleman. He said he was out to visit a relative who owns land out here and apparently lives out here. And I was asking him about ownership of the land, and he said that originally it had all been owned by the one person, but that with succession, sort of that person had half a dozen sons, and they'd all got a piece of land, and then each of them had half a dozen sons, and they'd all got a piece of land, and then some of the land had been sold. So he said that now it was owned by many, many, many people. So, very, very small parcels were all owned by different people.